you guys, let's look at some problems from your packet so that you can begin to confidently work through your Unit 3 or Unit 2, Level 3 material. So turn to the very first page that says Understanding Expressions and Equations. And on this particular page, you're going to be breaking down and dissecting the meaning of every single part of a linear model, or which is a linear equation that represents a real world situation. That's what a linear model is. So it's nothing other than just a linear equation that has a situation or word problem attached to it. So let's look at number 1 with Lynn. Lynn is tracking the progress of her plant's growth. Today the plant is 5 centimeters high. The plant grows 1.5 centimeters per day. In the linear model, y equals 1.5x plus 5. We've got a list of questions that we've got to answer, and we're going to be just dissecting every part of that equation. Part A, what does the x represent in the context of the situation? Well, we've got 1.5x, 1.5 times x. Well, in the problem, they tell us that the plant grows 1.5 centimeters per day. So x, I'm hoping you were able to decipher, represents the number of days. And on these type of questions, I don't want you to just say days. What about those days? It's the number of days. Because if you just say days, are you talking about Saturday, Sunday? We're talking about the number of days. So be very specific when you're describing what things represent. And then for part B, what does the 1.5 represent in the situation? Well, the plant grows 1.5 centimeters per day. So that 1.5 is representing the rate of growth, how much the plant is actually growing each day. So we call that a rate. Let's say rate of growth. Now, if this weren't a video that I needed to keep underneath a certain number of minutes, we would be writing all of this stuff in complete sentences, but we'll just be using phrases and bulleted statements for right now. For part C, what does the term 1.5x mean in context? Well, we know that 1.5 is the rate of growth, and x is the number of days. So if I took 1.5 and multiplied it by x, what could that mean in the context of the situation? For example, come over here to the side. If we took 1.5 and say we plugged in 2 days, 1.5 centimeters times 2 days, that would equal 3 centimeters. Well, that means that this part of our expression, the 1.5x, is telling us the number of centimeters that that plant has grown over those 2 days. So 1.5x is just that. It lets us know the number of centimeters the plant has grown over X number of days. Because we could plug in any number for X. If it's 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, we could figure out how many centimeters that plant has grown based on that rate of growth. Okay. Now for part D, what does the 5 represent in the situation? Here, it's stated right in the problem for us. That today the plant is 5 centimeters high. So that is the starting height of the plant. The starting height of the plant, whenever they started calculating it. So when Lynn decided to start tracking the progress of this plant, it was already 5 centimeters high. So she didn't track the growth of this plant from, a seedling when it was still just a seed. She started tracking it once it had reached 5 centimeters. All that noise you hear is my son and my husband coming home from practice. But we'll let them just be. For part E, what does the Y represent in the problem? Well, if I take 1.5, the rate of growth, times the number of days, and add it to 5, the starting amount of the plant. What is that y? What is all of that together? That's going to tell me the height of the plant. So y is representing the height of the plant. After however many days, after X days. So if we can look at a word problem and write the equation, we've got some things under our belt. But what's even better is if we understand what every single part means. Okay? Now, using that example, I want you to finish going through this particular activity, understanding expressions and equations. Okay? I'm going to cut it off now because the boys are loud and they don't care that I'm talking to you guys. All right. I'll see you when I get back.